Welcome back into the Rowdy Studio. I'm Stephen Levine. This is Tom Vandervoort, one of our favorite racetracks, man.
I'm one of your favorite racetracks?
No, you're not. There was a comma. There was an implied comma.
Yeah, Tom Vandervoort, comma, one of my favorite racetracks.
No, okay.
Weird.
Full stop. Tom Vandervoort, period. One of our favorite racetracks coming up, Richmond, was our home track for many, many years.
Absolutely.
Maybe the track we've been to more than any other.
Certainly has been for me.
And big-time implications for the race coming up. Let's start just by talking about the track itself. Short track, nice banking, some tricks, like coming off of turn 2 can be a little tricky.
Turn 2 is tricky because the car gets a little bit light feeling, wants to float towards the wall there. That's tricky. Obviously, with the D-shaped oval here at Richmond, you're talking about differences in the corners. Both getting into 1 is different than getting into 3, and coming out of 2 is different than coming out of 4, where you can kind of sweep out towards the wall there. Track is pretty fast for a short track. It's 3/4 of a mile, but it is still flat in the corners. So getting that car to rotate, you know, is tricky, and it matches well a couple of chase tracks. It matches Phoenix and it matches New Hampshire pretty well. So if you run well at Richmond, you can look at running well at those two tracks. And so you look at a guy like Denny Hamlin maybe getting some momentum.
Well, he's got a little bit of momentum.
Yeah, he does.
The other thing about Richmond is in the spring there were only 5 cautions at this race, and we've seen that lately at this track, both in the Nationwide Series and the Cup Series. So you could also be looking at a fuel mileage situation.
You could. It's a wide racing groove there, which allows you to avoid stuff and spread out. So I agree with you. Fuel mileage, that could be a way one of these chase guys tries to steal a win if they don't have a race car that can win it on merit.
Let's use that as a segue to talk about the wild card race, because it is still wide open. Nobody really.
Well, there's one spot.
There's one spot, but
left.
I mean it's wide open in terms of there are a lot of guys in positions 11 through 20 with a single win, and if they somehow were able to win at Richmond, they would claim that second wild card spot.
Yeah, basically for guys like Marcus Ambrose, Ryan Newman, Jeff Gordon, Kyle Busch, and Joey Logano, I think that's it. If any of those guys wins the race, they are in the chase. It's that simple. Win and you're in. Now for Carl Edwards, who's in the mix, the bar is a lot higher, right? Because he has to win. He has to make up 14 points on Jeff Gordon. And he has to make up, I think it's 26 points on Kyle Busch. He's run well here at times, but this is not really a Carl Edwards track.
That's why I think he led like 206 laps in the spring and ended up.
So he's got a pretty high bar. Now, the guy with the obvious advantage in all this is Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch, obviously, as we said, you win and you're in, but for Kyle Busch, you don't have to win. He's got the spot. He has to basically prevent one of those other guys from winning and then not let Jeff Gordon outrun him by 14 spots.
Right. Now, the question that's going to come to everybody's mind, especially those of us who are a little bit more cynical, is the idea of team orders, right? If Kyle Busch and Jeff Gordon are battling it out, well, Kyle Busch has pretty powerful teammates, as does Jeff Gordon at Hendrick Motorsports. Do we see that coming into play? Does Denny Hamlin make it hard for Jeff Gordon to pass?
I think you race those guys pretty hard. I don't think you do any cheap shots. I don't see
Denny Hamlin doesn't take Jeff Gordon out if he's coming to the checkered flag.
I don't see it.
No, I don't see it either.
I don't see it.
Now, I will also mention that in this race in 2005, Ryan Newman vaulted into the chase ahead of Jamie McMurray to capture that last spot. Now, that, of course, was before wild cards.
Jeremy Mayfield won this race to make the chase. That's happened, too.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, and you mentioned Ryan Newman. Ryan Newman can win this race. This is a very good track for Ryan Newman, a very good track for him. People forget that it's a good track for him.
The two best drivers at this track lately are probably Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin. What's interesting about those two guys, Kyle Busch's 4 wins have all come in the spring. Denny Hamlin's 2 wins have all come in the fall.
Yeah.
You know, but
coincidence is what I call that.
You think that's coincidence?
Absolutely.
You don't think one of them likes different months, different seasons?
I don't.
Now, Jimmy Johnson has 3 wins here. Should be strong at this track.
And that's the other thing you can't forget is these chase guys, you know, for them, for the top 10 guys, are pretty much locked in. I mean, there's a mathematical possibility Tony Stewart would fall out of the top 10, but he's going to get in on the wild card if that were to happen anyway. So, look, those guys can race really hard for the win and the bonus points that come with it to get into the chase. You know, for a guy like Denny Hamlin or Jimmy Johnson that can win this race, you know, they can kind of throw cautions to the wind and try some stuff and try to go out there and win this thing and take some more bonus points into the chase.
Denny Hamlin, could he make it 3 wins in a row running into the chase?
He absolutely could.
All right, who's your pick?
I think Kyle's going to show up and win this thing.
I think Kyle or Denny are probably the two most likely winners of this race. Don't overlook Clint Boyer, though. He's the only guy.
Clint is good here, too.
He's the only guy who has top 10s on all 4 short track races so far this season.
Yep.
I'm going to go reach a little bit and grab Clint Boyer. I don't know that he's the best pick, but I don't think he's a way out there pick, so I'm going with Clint Boyer.
I like it. And I tell you what, I want to say it again. This is a good track for Ryan Newman. Keep your eye on him.
There you go. For Tom, I'm Steven. Thanks for watching.